backs, Antonio and Eric, are just getting a little bit better. We see it in practice. The evidence is on the field. I think the other thing is we're getting a little bit better up front. And, we replaced 10 starters this year on offense, and the 11th was Mitch Underhill. So we're now playing with 11 new starters for our offense. And as most people know, offense takes a little bit longer to come together. We're not where we need to be, but you can see that we're getting a little bit better each week. And I really like the effort, all those players. And I told the players this. We had a great week of practice. Our scout teams really pushed us. And that was I told the players the difference this week is that we had 3 really good days of practice, and we were a lot crisper, not many penalties. And, that was a good team we played tonight.
It looked like you were going to go into to halftime only up 7. Eric busts a long one. How big was that right before the half there?
Really clutch drive. 3 big passes. I thought our quarterback really stepped up, made a nice throw on a shake route, and we were going post corner. Our receiver said he thought it would be there earlier in the night, and he makes a nice catch. And then we come back, and we had a blown pass protection. They brought a guy off the edge, and we didn't pick him up like we should have. We'll look at film on that. But we come back, call 2 plays in the huddle, and I thought we executed it really well, and out of 2 different formations, which is tough to do in a 2-minute drill when you don't have timeouts to run 2 plays without a huddle and run 2 different formations too.
Your defense was a little bend but don't break tonight. They moved the ball a little bit, especially on the ground, but you guys seemed to make big stops, especially the one obviously down the 1-foot line down there.
Wing T teams have a tradition of being tough to defend. And I think for a while, so many teams were running wing T. Teams got pretty good at maybe taking away trap and sweep, and so some teams went away from it. Anoka never has, and you could see that they really know how to run that offense. And as much as we try to prepare for it, we can't simulate what they do just because it's a unique offense, and they run it very well. But I thought our kids competed well. We made a couple minor changes at halftime, but mostly we played the same defense the second half, and I thought the kids performed well.
You didn't really give the quarterback anything to look at. It was like 11 at one point. Who played well in your defensive secondary tonight?
Well, I think it's 2 parts. One is that usually means you're getting some pressure, because if you give any quarterback enough time, he did find a couple receivers later, and I think you can't pick on the secondary and those he had a long time to throw. So, I think one is we got some good pressure, but, we got 2 juniors, Chris Pearson, who returned punts tonight, did a nice job. Sam Gustafson, both those guys pretty much are out by themselves as wide receivers. And then we got a sophomore starting at safety, and he's learning what it's like to play on a varsity field after playing 9th grade football last year. So those guys are doing well, and then Alex Carlson is our senior leader back there, and he provides a lot of leadership for us.
You talked about eliminating mental mistakes last week, Coach. It seems like you were able to do that. What was the emphasis for you during practice this week?
I think a lot of that comes from just players being more comfortable on the field. The first week we had, Nick Martin, who was about the only one who'd seen much playing time, and he's telling me before the game he was so nervous, and he's played in a state prep bowl before. So you go from that, but it's his first time as a starter. We had a lot of kids who are starting for their first time. I think the other thing is just as you become more confident in your assignment and your technique, you can concentrate more on the other things, and that tends to clean up some mistakes. So, we were real basic this week in practice, didn't add a lot of new plays, and I think it showed on the field.
What do you build on moving into next week? What do you point to as real positives from the game for you?
Well, I think we had a lot of players make a difference for us on offense. We had a couple different running backs who showed well. We had 3 receivers who I thought 4 receivers who got in and made some catches, a couple tight ends who made some catches. So the fact that we have some diversity to our offense is really big offensively for us. And Nick, just how he ran that 2-minute drill right before half, that showed a lot of maturity and a lot of poise.
Made a big difference for you.
Yeah, and then defensively, we're not a big team, and the big thing for us is if we can, bend a little bit, but, make teams go long distances. We usually get some type of big play defensively, a sack or, cause a turnover or something before they score. And, we're going to give up a couple scores a game against good offenses, but the key is, not let the other team control the ball.
Eliminated turnovers seems like this week too.
Yeah, again, it's something we work on every week, but I think, again, that goes back to as you become more confident in what you're supposed to do, you can then think about the next part, which is protecting the ball and maybe sure that you're throwing it in the right spot. So
Appreciate it very much.
my pleasure.